arms towards the sun. You feel the warmth of the rays, and then you know you're alive, and you don't have to be afraid of anything, cause you know the truth, and the truth is love, yes it is. Wasn't what they said to you, or anything that you learn from a book or from the news. It's not like that, cause it's a thing. It is something that you do. Doop doo doop doo. Doop doo doop doo. Doop doo doop doo.
Welcome to the Bassline, everyone. Harry Fisher is a paramedic and a folk hero. He has courageously spoken out about the inordinate level of injury he has witnessed since the rollout of the COVID injections. His outspokenness and his passion have earned him many fans and many trolls alike. I am pleased to introduce a man who is definitely an essential worker for the medical freedom movement, my friend, Mr. Harry Fisher. How are you today, Harry? How is it in the world where you are today? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. That whole word essential, that weirds me out. I mean, they called me essential while they called other people unessential, and that is crazy to me. Everyone is essential. And the fact that most people just went along with the fact that they were unessential, it wilds me out. Like it blows my mind that people would just be told, hey, guess what? You're not essential. Stay home, shut up, sit down. And so many people, stood for that. They were standing for their own kneeling, and I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think it is a great practice to examine the language that we use and the language that's being used towards us and against us. And that was definitely an interesting power play just with that choice of the word essential workers. And then, all the other arbitrary things, of course, like you close down the church and the mosque, but you leave the liquor store open, or you close down the small business, you allow the big corporate chains to remain open. All these arbitrary things for our health and safety, and our masks, of course.
It's mind-blowing, bro. I mean, there was one point in time, I went to Walmart and all the toilet paper was bought out. Like, that's when we should have known. Whenever all the crap paper was bought out, and everyone thought something bad was happening, they went in and bought all the toilet paper. Like the seeds were still there, everything was still there, but you know what wasn't there? The toilet paper. So our country's gone to crap. And that being said, I bought a couple things of toilet paper, and I was in our small town. There's this weed dispensary, and I was walking by with all my groceries, and this girl was freaking out. I heard her talking to her husband or boyfriend, I don't even know, but that they don't have toilet paper. And I gave her a thing of the toilet paper, and she was so happy, and then walked into the weed dispensary to buy her weed.
Yeah.
With the toilet. So our country's really, really gone to crap, like truly.
Yeah, there's that funny meme that said something like, fight like you're fighting for toilet paper, or something to that effect. Fight for your rights, as though you were fighting for toilet paper. But yeah, brother. So let's get into this here now. Let me know officially what's your background and training, and give everybody sort of just an introduction to your professional life before the insanity that was COVID-19 appeared in all of our lives. What are you known for? You're a traveling paramedic, it seems.
Yes.
You have a different kind of assignment. Tell us all about this exciting stuff you do, because I see these photos of you in helicopters and you're out in Alaska. I mean, let us know about this exciting paramedic life that you have going on.
I've been an EMT since 1997. I've been in a couple branches of the military, Army, Air Force, medic in both branches. I've been a paramedic since 2012-ish, 2012, 2013. I I've worked ambulance, ER, ICU, and I've done traveling. I've been a traveling paramedic, like a traveling nurse, but traveling paramedic since predominantly when COVID hit. I realized they really needed paramedics out there everywhere. So I started doing traveling paramedic because it pays more. It pays a lot more to be a traveling paramedic. To work contract, it pays the bills. Working back at home, just as a normal paramedic, you're making so basically if you're working as a traveling paramedic, you're making more money, and back home you're making little money, like very little. Like they pay us a fraction to work on an ambulance, to work in an ICU or ER, other than a traveling paramedic. So I realized that, and I started doing that, and I worked ICU, ER in New York City, North Dakota. I work in Alaska. I work all over the place because it makes more. It just pays more to do it. That's what I've been doing, and I've been able to see a very wide range of patients while I'm doing it, and it's helped to also see how bad everything is, like how bad it all is, because they gave an experiment to the entire world. So I've got to see all of these communities, how they're affected by this experiment. And one of the few things that I'm doing out there is I'm asking if they took it. Because most of the general public right now, they will not correlate the shots to all the bad that's occurring, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to know. It's almost like that uncle that's molested someone that they don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
They literally don't want to hear about what's happening. And I'm constantly going, did that uncle molest you? I'm literally constantly saying, did the shots hurt you? And that's
Right.
something that most people don't want to know.
Right. Or so now let's get into the specifics in terms of what you've observed, because you offer us a very unique perspective. The show has featured doctors, we've featured scientists, we've featured journalists, we've featured artists, we've featured an embalmer, we've featured the vaccine injured. We tried to gather as many perspectives on the baseline. Oh, that's the sound of New York behind me, everyone. Sorry about that. Another emergency. Go figure.
Yeah.
Go figure. But yeah, we've spoken to many different types of guests on this program, but you were actually the first paramedic that we've spoken to, and a paramedic who works along the lines of what you just described is a particularly unique perspective. So here, lay out for us the difference that you started to notice, things that you started to observe in terms of you did your job, which is not an easy job to do in the first place, obviously. It strikes me as a pretty traumatic job to begin with, seeing how many people are injured and sick, people are possibly going to die, so on and so forth. But then these shots are rolled out, and you start noticing negative outcomes to the extent that you've spoken out about this.
Right.
So, what did you see? What's going on, and does this continue to go on?
It does continue to go on. It's going to continue to go on as long as people stay silent, as long as people stay oblivious to what's actually happening, because tyranny doesn't stop if you comply. It just doesn't stop. So it's going to continue to happen. And what I saw and what I've been seeing is an experiment took place that's killing people, and it's really that bad. Like that's the hardest thing to try to convince people of is, hey, they're killing you. What are we going to do about it? Because I mean, from the start, I saw someone die in a Pfizer line. I say Pfizer line, a makeshift clinic that had all these people lined up, and someone took their shot and died. And then the nurse came over while I'm working the code and said it's the second one in 2 weeks. So two people that I know of in that one Pfizer clinic died within 2 weeks. And I tried to tell people about it, tried to call news agencies. No one wanted to actually hear it. So if they're literally saying, "Hey, guess what? We don't want to hear what you have to say. Shut up." And I know people are dying, then that's a major catastrophe. Like that's a major thing that people won't register. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, a nurse who's working in a major ER, and he had a 40-year-old stroke come in, and he was telling me, because he's brand new nurse, and he was telling me he got to give these meds and da 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 da, and he's really bought in on the system, but still a good friend of mine, just really bought in. And my friend, I said, did you get to ask him or anybody around him if they took the shot, if they took the vaccine? And he was like, Harry, shut up. That's so yesterday. That's so yesterday, Harry. Just shut up about that. And everything in me was screaming because he's never gonna see it. I didn't go off on him. I wasn't mean to him. I just listened and talked to him about the drugs he pushed and talked to him about the experience he had. But he's never going to even try to see that all these strokes, heart attacks, miscarriages, he's never even going to try to see that it was caused by our government. That doesn't make him a bad person. It just makes him a brainwashed person. And
Right.
and I that's really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
It's very
Yes.
difficult.
Yeah, it's interesting that you remind me of one of my favorite sayings throughout all of this, which I invoked yesterday when I gave my public speech, my medical freedom speech on East 83rd Street yesterday, where I mentioned something that a friend said that comes up very frequently in this whole struggle, which is you can't wake someone up who is pretending to be asleep. And it's hard these days to tell who's really sleeping and who's pretending to be asleep. Because are you really not noticing all of this stuff that's going on? But give us a
Like,
contrast a little bit before we move on in terms of like specifically some of the things that you're seeing. Like you see injury already. You're a paramedic, but what's going on now?
I
And
agree.
different. Okay, so we're back. We're live. Harry had to check up on his family, which is always the most important thing. So, as you know, it's always live and direct here on the baseline, unedited, genuine conversations between genuine individuals. But now, let's see, Harry, where were we? Now, you were describing, or I wanted you to describe the differences in terms of what you observe normally, because being a paramedic's just a tough job to begin with. You're seeing pretty gruesome stuff, I would imagine, in the first place, and then these shots are introduced. How could you describe that so our audience could visualize, the difference all of a sudden between someone who has a stressful job in the first place and then you're seeing even worse circumstances?
Okay. Prior to prior to COVID and COVID shots, we wouldn't see pediatric calls very often. And a pediatric call for a paramedic. Okay, imagine you've been an EMT for a long time and you're a paramedic and you've seen death and dying and everything else. Well, a kid call is very difficult. A kid call, imagine the worst thing you can experience where you're in charge of the scene and you're no there's no doctors there, there's no nurses there, you're by yourself, you show up and the parent is freaking out, screaming and crying, and that is the worst call for a paramedic. To see a dead kid laying there and you have to try to bring them back and their parents and everyone's freaking out and looking to you for the answers. Those
Oh
were
no.
quite rare prior to the COVID shots. And when the COVID shots came out, you had a different situation. Like every time you go to work now, you're wondering if it's going to be the worst day of your career. Say you've been doing this for 20 years and now every time you go to work, you're wondering if it's going to be the worst call of your entire life. So your stress level is through the roof. You're scared to go to work because it's going to be bad, because you know it's going to be bad. And some of us, like me, know the reason it's going to be bad. And some of us, very few, like I would say I'm one in a very, like there's not many out there that are going to ask the question, did they take the shot? Did they take the COVID shot, the COVID vaccine? And that just makes you the enemy times 10. So you're adding to your stress level times a million when you ask the obvious questions. So you got a dead child, you're trying to actually figure out the root of the cause, you're trying to save the child, parents are screaming, and now you're the enemy as well because you're asking about the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's changed immensely. Like the battleground of what was a paramedic to what is a paramedic, if you're awake, if you're still trying to actually fight on Team Humanity, the battleground has changed immensely. It's so hard. Now, I could easily, it's still not going to be easy. I mean, dealing with the call itself is still going to be hard, but not asking the question, have they taken the shot, would make my job, my task a lot easier, because at least they'll live in denial. They'll live in a state of just not knowing. Why did my kid die? Why is this healthy young person dying or stroking out? Like it would be easier to just shut up, but I can't shut up. If I shut up, then they're going to keep doing it. It's going to keep happening. So it's changed a lot, bro. Like it's changed a lot.
Yeah, I can tell. Now, let me ask in terms of your coworkers. I mean, I know there's a lot of people living in denial, living in sleep, so to speak. Like I said earlier, we don't know who's sleeping, who's pretending to be asleep, but there must be some people in your profession who understand what you're saying and don't play dumb. Are there? I mean, is there anyone that you come
Yes.
across? Any
Yes.
other paramedics? Do you ever get an
Yes.
opportunity to talk to? Yeah,
Yes.
who do you come
Just the other
across?
day, I went to a new contract. The contract I'm on now, currently, I'm currently off work, but when I go back to work, there was a paramedic that I first met there that has seen, the exact same things and is awake to everything. And he is very spiritual. I mean, we even prayed over our ambulance. Like, I mean, he knows what's going on, and the PA that's working at a place close by knew what was going on, but not willing to speak. Like they won't ask you those questions. Like they're not going to put themselves out there, but they know what's going on. And I run into a lot of that. A lot of people that know what's happening, but also know that if they put themselves out there, you're at risk for attack. And I can't really blame them. I mean, I can't blame them for not wanting to put themselves on the chopping block. I put myself on the chopping block. I'm on the chopping block. I didn't take the shot. I'm not dying from your myocarditis and your clots. I don't have to actually put myself on the chopping block. I've done it because I feel it's necessary. And most people don't feel that that's necessary. If they've gotten through the first phase, they don't see why you go through this second and third phase of torment and torture, because the world will try to torment and torture you for talking about it. What they're not seeing, in my opinion, is the long haul. The long haul COVID is really long haul honesty. If you have long haul honesty, you're going to be shit on for a very long time. God forgive me, sorry for the family, but you're going to be crapped on for a long time if you're long haul honesty. If you have that inside you to be honest, to be truthful, to just tell it like it is, you're going to be an enemy of the state.
Yeah.
And most people, they don't want that. And I can totally understand that. It's the ones like my friend that's an RN that can't see it all, that more I say that, and I say more annoy me, most annoy me. They all actually annoy me. I wish the long haul scared people would actually grow some huevos and speak out. And I wish that the ones that are brainwashed could at least get to their point and see that something bad is occurring. Right now, I'm dealing with just people that will comply themselves into death. Like they're
Right.
complying themselves and their children into mass genocide.
Right. Insane. So we were talking before we started recording this pre-recorded episode of the Baseline, by the way. Um, we will return to live programming shortly. This episode and the next episode are going to be pre-recorded, but outstanding guests under all circumstances, of course. So today I'm talking with Harry Fisher, paramedic who's well known on the medical freedom scene. He's been outspoken. He's an inspirational figure of sorts. And we were talking before we started recording this episode in terms of proper orientation for the medical freedom warrior, right? We were both agreeing that, we have to keep it positive. We have to stay on the up and up. It's like, don't bring negative vibes into the locker room. It's my analogy. But give us a little insight in terms of the medical freedom warrior. Tell us what we need to be thinking in terms of staying strong and moving forward in this difficult struggle we have ahead of us. Because there's so many facets to it, right? It's like we have to take care of the vaccine injured. We have to get these shots off of the market. We need to repeal the 1986 act that makes these corporations not liable for the harm these products are doing, and so on and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of things to cover, many things I could list, but what's proper orientation for the medical freedom warrior?
Well, I was talking to a really close friend of mine the other day. He's somebody that's really big in the medical freedom movement. And he said that you got to be careful because most people in this movement are in it for themselves. You can't be in a war like this and be in it for yourself. Like we are fighting to stop genocide. You can't be a Rambo. There's not a Rambo out there that can stop this genocide. You have to have a team. And if you are willing to shoot your own teammates, you're going to lose. We're already behind the eight ball. We're already losing. We are. Like they've vaccinated millions and millions of people. We're losing and we're experiencing that loss currently. If we continue to fight each other, we're screwed. Like it's screwed. You can't cut the legs out of your teammates. It's the same thing you learn about when you're in basketball, football, everything. You can't be a ball hog. Don't be in it for ego. You actually pass the ball. You do everything you can to help somebody. I don't I say I don't understand. I understand why people do it because they want to be egotistical and make their names known. Like if I wanted Harry's name to be known, I would constantly just Harry is awesome. Harry is this. No. I want to know all of y'all. I want you to know me and I want to know when we can pass the baton. Whenever someone's tired, when someone needs help, I want us all to be there helping each other because we have to be a team in this because those against us, they're a great enemy, a huge enemy. And if we don't come together and fight together, we're going to perish. We're done. Like that's it. Like that there game over. There's no point in me talking. It's just suicide. Right now it's suicide. If I keep talking, I know it. Even my publisher's like, Harry, if you keep talking, you could be in trouble. You could end up, dead. But if I do it with a team, then I die for a reason. If I do it with all of everyone trying to act like individuals, then I'm just dying. And I really don't want that. I'd rather know that we helped my kids and grandkids live a free life without taking poison. And I'll die for that. I will literally die for that. I'm hoping and praying that all of y'all are willing to do the same so we can have a chance at survival together. That's what I'm hoping.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. I really like that. Um, yeah, it's an incredible thing. And I do have to say, there are a lot of great people on our side. Unfortunately, there's been some bickering, there's been some infighting that has occurred a little bit, but I'll say in general, I mean, I've met just tremendous people, yourself included, through the medical freedom movement. And, that's been some silver lining, I guess, that we could appreciate relative to the disaster that brought us together. Um, what do you view as some practical goals for our movement? I laid out some goals yesterday, so um, maybe you could respond to the goals that I laid out, and maybe you have something to add to this. But number one is I believe that we should be demanding an end to all medical mandates from now until the end of history. That there's no legal, ethical, philosophical, spiritual basis for a government or a employer or an educational institution saying you have to take an invasive medical procedure to get an education, to have a job, to have employment. I think we should be demanding an end to all mandates. That's one thing. Number two, I think we need to get these COVID shots off of the market forever. They need to be removed, criminally investigated, et cetera, but pulled from the market so they can't harm people anymore. Number three, we need to get this 1986 act repealed. I love the thing. I've said it many times, but I'll say it again because I think it's such a great point. When Aaron Siri says the chainsaw industry doesn't have liability protection. So why do you get liability protection when you claim your product is safe? That doesn't make sense, that people claiming their product is safe need all this liability protection, right? When dangerous industries don't get liability. I think we need to call for an end to gain of function research. I think we need to have informed consent reinstated, basically. But what should be our goals? What should we be demanding as a medical freedom movement? What could we focus on in our affinity groups and our medical freedom organizations?
I think we need to have the same amount of balls that our opposition has. Our opposition will force us into submission. They will plant a Trump sculpture that's 43 some odd feet tall, that's bare naked in the middle of a place, and hang it up like it's no big deal. They'll mandate us into literally not having jobs. Our opposition will kill us and will tell us they want to kill us. Like, I posted a video today of a woman saying, the hurricane in North Carolina, it took out so many people and God did its work. And that person
I
obviously
saw
didn't
that.
even believe in God.
That
So
was
yeah,
disturbing.
it's so disturbing. Our opposition has some big balls. I think the first thing we need to do is actually drop our balls.
They're
We need to
brazen.
do what?
I said they're brazen.
Oh, they are. They're so obvious in how much they hate us. We need to be obvious in how much we will push back. I don't think we need to hate them, because you don't have to. If someone breaks into my house right now, do I have to hate them to kill them? No.
No,
No. I just have to want to not die.
right.
So at some point we're going to have as much balls to push back as they have to try to kill us. And they are trying to kill us. Like, whenever you first took my job, whenever I was trying to speak out about the bad thing that's occurring with the experiment, you took my job, you told me I can't pay for my kids, you were trying to kill me. And now it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Now you're letting me work and pay taxes to a system that's trying to kill me. But you're telling me, hey, in the future, we're going to do it again. And we're also going to let all these illegals in and do this, that, and the other. So they're basically trying to get me to consent to kneeling to a system that is against me. At some point, we're going to have to stand up off of our knee, look at bold face, right in the face, and say, screw you. We're not going to play this game. We're not going to let you hurt us. We're not going to let you brainwash our kids. We're not going to let you inject us with poison. We're not going to let you castrate our boys. We're not going to let you do all of this. At some point, we're going to have to stand together, arm in arm, and say, Red Rover, bring it on, bitch. And that's what
Yeah,
we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do it. Like we are at that point. We're past that point.
yeah,
Convincing the rest of the public that we really need to stand up strong is the hard part, because most people have had it so easy. Most people have had the Walmart, you can buy your food. That's why most people, whenever a catastrophe happens, they're screwed. If you take their cell phone away, they're screwed. If you take their ability to think away, they're screwed. They don't know what to do. We have to teach people how to survive. And then we have to teach people how to have the will to survive. And most people have lost both.
oh, yeah, that's intense. Yeah, it's strange. I mean, it's a harsh thing to say, but of all the various negative names for this kill shot, which is one of the things, the kill shot, the clot shot, the killer vaccine, the depot jab, but the one that Dr. Ben Marble uses, suicide shot.
Yeah,
That's a rough one. That's a
it's
rough
true
one.
though. True though. Dr. Ben
Yeah,
Marble's a good
yeah,
guy.
yeah, I agree. And yeah, and I think, that, when you use that phrase, it speaks to, I'm sorry to say, anyone who accepted these shots into their body, they didn't take it, they didn't understand how serious the genocidal forces of this planet
No,
actually are.
just out of curiosity. You remember Rwanda?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you think the people that woke up that day that got cut up with machetes knew that their neighbors would cut them up with machetes?
Yeah. They wouldn't have been there if they did, right?
Right. They had no clue that people were that horrible. No clue. And you know what the UN did? They waited outside they waited outside the borders for people to get destroyed by machetes. People ran around neighborhoods with machetes, cutting up what was it, Hutus and Tutsis? They
Yeah.
literally, two tribes hated each other, a very civilized society, and the UN, the Western culture, stood outside and was like, meh, let's just watch this happen and see how it plays out, while they murdered each other. Actually, not each other. One side murdered the other, and the other side woke up that day. They woke up never thinking that someone could be that evil. That is what we're experiencing right now. It's just less machete, more poison shot. Like we've got these shots, they're killing a lot of people. Most people are never going to see it. Machetes would be nicer. Like it would be nicer if they all just actually took machetes and came after us, because at least we would have something to aim at. Right now, it's such a strategic plan. It's harder to differentiate. It's very
This is a
difficult
new
because the go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is a new circumstance altogether, right? I
Yeah.
mean, first of all, like take a Joseph Stalin, for example, Mao Zedong, whoever you want to bring up in history. A lot of those people, they might have been very brutal in various ways, but I do believe that those men wanted their nations to be the mightiest nations in the world. They would kill who they viewed as their political enemies. When in history can we refer to a time where a leader attempted to poison their entire population to weaken your own military, to weaken the children, the elders? But then now let's make this an exponential thing that it's happening around the globe. That all these various leaders engage in this mass poisoning of their own populations to the point that we have a global
That's
poisoning.
That's because you
Love
have
this
a global world leader. Like at this point, we actually have a global world leader. With the technology we have nowadays and the type of control we have, it's not about nations anymore. It's about a global world leader, and we have that. That's why we consistently talk about the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum. Like these evil pricks have all gotten together and sacrificed their children and done whatever they do behind closed doors because they're evil pricks, but they're all together. And the world is connected through technology now like it's never been in the past. Like through technology, the world is completely connected. So now the evil can literally be consolidated and make evil plans for the entire world. We're dealing with that kind of technology. The only few holdouts anymore are the what we would call in the United States red states. The states that are currently being attacked with hurricanes and everything else right now. The red states that would actually hold out are going to be attacked more and more and more. And whenever those like me and you die out, it'll be the TikTok minds of the world in every state, and it'll be a world forum. It'll be a world system. They're going for that world system because we have the technology now to actually control the entire world. Used to, you could only control regions. You have to have the reach. Well, the bigger your reach gets with technology, you can control more. Well, if you're the same families and the same bad things that control the entire world, you use the technology to actually do it. Like they're accomplishing this. We're living in a world that's currently being occupied by some very evil people, and they're using our own technology against us. I had a senator not that long ago get a hold of me on Signal, and he was like, "This is the only place that we can talk. We can talk on Signal." And I was like, "Bro, you can't talk on anything. This is a senator. A senator's like, we can talk here." And I was like, "Man, you can't talk on anything." Like even our brightest amongst us don't understand how deep the technology goes.
A big
They
dragnet.
do what?
I said it's a big dragnet.
Oh, 100%. You like it's really that bad. It's going to take honest people being honest and being willing to stand like David versus Goliath. Like Goliath is the system right now. It's going to take really honest people standing there with just a single stone going, "All right, bitch, let's play." Like
Yeah,
it's going to take that. Like it's going to take that kind of bravery
yeah,
to do something because we're already occupied. It's already done. People are going to be dying for years to come because of what they put into to everyone's body. That's
yeah,
happening. And with the technology that we have that most people are unaware of, it can happen at any moment. It's really bad. The good thing is here's a inspirational hope. An inspirational hope is people realize that God exists and there is a miracle of God's sleeve. And that will happen, but it's going to take individual bravery to bring about that. And I think it can occur.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting. We had, I'm sure you're familiar with the activist, vaccine injured activist Julie 3 was a guest a few episodes ago. And she's someone who believed in the shots. She just thought she was doing the right thing. She was trying to help get people vaccinated and all that stuff. And then she got vaccine injured and realized, wait a second, this is going on. And thankfully, she had the wherewithal to say, wait, this is terrible, this thing that's happened. But
Can
so
you
many
imagine
people,
that? You've literally talked to somebody who was a proponent for the vaccines.
yeah,
Like you have in history right now talked to somebody who's a proponent for the vaccines, who's been on your show and going, "Oh my God, I messed up."
yeah,
That's where we live in society. And that video, does it have millions of views?
Nope. I mean, we've worked hard for our hundreds of downloads. I don't know how
But
many
it, but
listens,
but
hopefully thousands.
that should be millions.
It should be. I agree.
It's not going to be because they have the technology. They
Yep.
own the actual platforms. The only way that that can get millions of views is if you personally go out and talk to millions of people, because they can't take that away yet. You know what?
Yeah, that's true.
Until they kill you, bro, they can't take
Yeah.
away you going person to person and handing them something and saying, "Watch this right now."
Yeah, right.
But
That's
that's
true.
very difficult. I mean, we don't have the easy access they do. But that's the world we live in, man. I mean, it's really that bad.
So that's a good segue right there in terms of I've been struggling with, and I think you're a good person to talk to about this actually, from one brother to another, is that I'm I'm not satisfied existing in the echo chamber anymore. Now my mind's starting to thump, and I'm thinking, what can I do to start to engage people more and not disagree with my friends, but engage people. And but then of course we don't want people to get scared and run away. So as someone who's spoken out about this a lot, as somebody who has interacted with a lot of people around these subjects because of your job, because of your notoriety, what words of wisdom can you summon in terms of how we go about trying to engage in this conversation and break through some of these boundaries and break down some of these walls that have been set up that are preventing people from seeing the truth, preventing people from speaking out, and so on.
Hmm.
What have you noticed about human psychology that we could perhaps implement as we deal with people on an ongoing basis on this issue, mass poison?
That's a hard one. I would say that the people that are awake are, you can wake up. Like it's possible. It's possible. Um, I was extreme liberal left whenever I was a child. I worked for the Daily Show with Jon Stewart for many years. I don't know if anybody knows that, but I've been extreme liberal left. Um, I would say that you just have to keep being true, keep being honest, and stay alive as long as you can, because the world's going to try to kill you.
I'd say
Uh,
that's pretty sound advice there.
yeah, because in all reality, it's going to get hard. It's going to be hard, but what you can do is just be real, and those that accept it, and don't. But some people will eventually grow to accept that reality and move on with their lives to a better, more sound reality, because they're living in falsehoods. Most
Yeah,
people are living in a falsehood. And the worst thing we can do is feed into that falsehood, because when we feed them mean opposition, when we feed them when we feed them hatred, they're going to feed off of that hatred and hate back tenfold. Because most of
yeah,
us don't want to hate. Like I don't see you wanting to hate people. I don't want to hate people.
no, not at
They
all.
they do. They actually feed off of it. And that's what
Yeah,
demonic entities do. Demonic entities feed off of that negative energy like vampires, and that just gives them the ability to come back at you so much. So if you can feed them love while they're being hateful to you, which is very difficult. I've had moments of being hateful, and I still have trouble with it. Like, I mean, when you come at me and throw pictures of my kids at me and say you want to kill me, I really have trouble not being a hateful entity back. I
yeah,
want to, but the best thing I can do is feed love back, and That's what I would suggest. I would suggest being as loving as you possibly can. And if someone breaks into your house, be loving while you reject them.
Right. That's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. You remind me of a bunch of things right there. You remind me of one friend who, asked the philosophical question, the ethical question. If you step on a cockroach, is that murder? And then after examining it, we say, well, yes, it is murder. I mean, you took that cockroach's life and you can't replace it. However, when you kill the cockroach, it's not that you're doing so on the grounds that it wasn't murder. You're doing so on the grounds that the cockroach was an intruder in your home, unfortunately. And um, it also you remind me of another friend and this discussion of love and hate, and a very wise friend of mine who's just kind of wise beyond his years when we were teenagers, great poet and intellectual kid. He pointed out something very interesting, that love loves everything. Love loves love, and love loves hate. And that's basically how we have this big swirling reality that we have. If there was only hate, there would be nothing, because hate would destroy everything, including itself. But we have this struggle, this never ending struggle, because love can't stop loving. So therefore, love loves love and also loves hate and continues to fuel the fire of this sort of yin yang paradoxical, arrangement that we're all experiencing. But let's see here. So I'm not sure what time we started, and I'm just going to kind of guesstimate as we narrow down to the end of our program, as we were talking in the beginning, and then I hit record and I forgot to check exactly what time we started. And we also
I'm
stop a
sorry.
couple times. No, no, no need to apologize, brother. It's been a great conversation. It's been an honor to have you on. Um, and I think I can guess pretty well, and hopefully we'll get it within that 1 hour pocket. If we go over time, sorry folks, then you'll get a little bit more content in the archive, and the live program, or what would have been the live program, gets faded out to accommodate the radio station, Progressive Radio Network. Props to them for providing me with this platform. But Harry, first of all, so people can follow you. You have a very lively Twitter account. You post some powerful firsthand accounts. You retweet a lot of great stuff from within the movement. Let everyone know how they can find you on Twitter or any other platforms where they can possibly follow you, keep your work, support you.
What is it? Harry Fisher EMTP on X. And I've got a TikTok account, but I mean, I've already been deleted once. I had to appeal and I got it back, but it'll be gone again soon, I'm sure. Anytime I post there, it's just so I don't really use it because it's like 58 plus accounts that I've already gone through on TikTok. Facebook, I can't access Facebook anymore. I can't access YouTube. Rumble, I haven't really hit up. I just don't really mess with it right now. I'm just basically, you can find me on X.
And by the way, that's Fisher. That's Fisher. It's not the version with the C in it,
Yeah,
like
no
Trump
C.
did
Yeah,
the test chain.
Harry Fisher, Harry Fisher EMTP. You can find me there, and as long as they keep me. I've been banned there once too for quote unquote impersonating myself. That was about a 3 month ban. So I don't know how long all these places will stay. So I always feel
Yeah,
weird going, you can find me here, and then suddenly you might not be able to find me there anymore. It would be
yeah,
better if I had
right.
an email chain. Honestly, an email chain would make more sense until they completely, corrupt that. But I haven't started doing that yet. So, but yeah, you can find me there.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'm assuming that we're near the end of the program. I'm guessing in terms of our time, but
You're fine. My brother, I
but
appreciate you having me on. Like anybody who this gentleman that I'm currently talking to deserves to have so many more friends. I don't like calling them followers or subscribers. Friends. Be a friend with him add him to your list because he's fighting the good fights and he's been a good friend of me. And I would just suggest everyone out there with a conscience in the medical movement needs to go find. Tell us how you can find you, sir.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that, brother. Yeah, look me up at Earth Driver on X. So Earth like planet Earth, driver like you're driving a car, Earth Driver, one word. And that's my X account. And you know what? I'm really glad you brought that up, Harry, actually, because this platform is all about me giving a platform to courageous people like you and the unique voices that we brought on this program. However, I don't want to eat too much humble pie here because I do have to promote what I'm doing. And I'll say that, I don't want to sound egoistical in any manner. I'm a servant of the movement, but I will say that I think that the popularity of the baseline and the growth of even my X account, if I dare say so, is a good barometer of progress. It's a little gauge, right? I mean, I don't want to make too much importance of myself, but I produce weekly medical freedom focused content, bringing excellent guests one after another, and I also have a pretty cool Substack too. But I'm consistent, and I will remain consistent. I've shown consistency, and I will show you more consistency. But just when you support this program, you share the episodes of the program, et cetera, et cetera. When you help us just row our little rowboat, it's a little bit of a gauge of the progress that we're making. Because I've gained some following, I've definitely received a lot of love from the community, but I want the growth of this project called the Baseline Radio program to be exponentially more because I'm such a believer in the truth that comes out of the mouths of my guests and just the incredible knowledge and insight from various doctors and scientists and so on. So, I really appreciate that shout out from you, Harry, and look forward to us doing another Twitter space soon. And yeah, keep up all the great work, brother. You're an inspiration to many, and all of those videos that you put up there, I think they are making a difference.
I appreciate it, man. I'll stick with you to the end, bro. And it's going to be a long road to hoe. I mean, we got a long row ahead of us. But I'll be with you, and you can consider me a brother in arms. And I'm so thankful that you're here, man. Nice talking to you.
Likewise, brother. Likewise, I feel the exact same way, my brother. I will talk to you very soon. And thank you all for tuning into the Baseline. Stay connected. Follow us on X. Get in the conversation. Join us in these Twitter spaces. It's actually really a great place to meet folks, I must say. It has been quite effective in terms of being a mobilizing tool and a community building tool. So everyone take care. Peace and love to everyone. See you next week.
God bless.
With open arms towards the sun, you feel the warmth of the rays, and then you know you're alive, and you don't have to be afraid of anything, cause you know the truth, and the truth is love, yes it is. Wasn't what they said to you, or anything that you learn from a book or from the news. It's not like that, cause it's a thing. It is something that you do. Doop doo doop doo. Doop doo doop doo. Doop doo doop doo. Dib-on baby did low. Doop doo doop doo. Doop doo doop doo. Doop doo doop doo. Dib-on baby did love's the highest truth. Nothing could be higher than love, my friend. Love's the deepest truth. Nothing could be deeper than love, my friend. stop and you take the time just to think about your life, you'll recall the ones you love and the ones who were always there for you. Better thank those friends better. You better make amends. Go and tell them now, yeah, yeah. Tell them what they mean to you. Doop doo doop doo, doop doo doop doo, doop doo doop doo. Dear bone baby, dear love. Doop doo doop doo, doop doo doop doo, doop doo doop doo. Dear bone baby, dear love. You got